Hi, I'm Chelly Wood, and this is my tiny sewing room where I make doll clothes sewing videos. Today, I'm going to show you how to make this cute summer top which fits 18-inch dolls like Madame Alexander dolls, Our Generation dolls, American Girl dolls, and many others. It's a halter style top and it's fairly easy to sew. Before we begin, please go to chellywood.com to download my free printable PDF sewing pattern. Use the pattern to cut out all the pieces you see. You'll need 2 fronts, 1 lining and 1 outer fabric. You can either do a single pocket or you can sew on a pair of pockets. You'll need 4 back pieces, which will include 2 linings and 2 outer fabrics. And for the tie at the back of the doll's neck, you can cut 2 strips of fabric that are 25 centimeters by 3 centimeters, or you can choose to use bias tape or just ribbon. Let's start with our pocket. Fold it in half, keeping right sides together if you're using a fabric where that matters. Okay, and I am, so I'm folding it like this. Sew around the raw edges in an L shape. Clip the corner and seams like you see me doing here. A chopstick can help you invert the pocket. So here's my sewn pocket. I'm going to turn it right side out, and then I'm going to grab my little chopstick, and you want to be very gentle, give it a little twist, and it helps poke out those corners very gently. Little twist can help. Poke the raw edges inside the pocket like you see me doing in this clip. Now pinch the fabric together and use a whip stitch to close the pocket's open edge. Press the pocket to flatten its seams. There's a pocket guide on the front pattern piece. This is designed to help you position the pocket and pin it in place on the front of the garment. Use a marker to outline the pocket placement. This can help a lot. Now if you're doing 2 pockets, then on the opposite side of the pattern, darken the pocket placement with your marker yet again. Okay, so here I've outlined it. Here I'm going to darken it on the opposite side so that I can do 2 pockets. Use a fabric pencil together with a light box or a window to draw the pocket placement on the bodice front. Okay, so I just lay it over there, go around the pocket, and then I flip this over to where I outlined and do it again. Pin the pocket or pockets in place. That's what I'm doing here. I can see where I've drawn, and I just try to position my pocket roughly where those drawings are. Now if you're just doing 1, of course you only need to draw the pocket placement 1 time. sew around 3 sides, leaving an opening at the top of your pocket. And now you can remove your straight pin. So I've sewn around just the 3 sides. Place one bodice front on top of another, keeping right sides together. Okay, there's my bodice back, or my bodice lining over the top of my bodice front. Sew around the neckline using a 1/4 inch seam. Clip the seam that you just created, like you see me doing here. Invert the garment. Press this seam. Now please note we will be opening this up again. Set the bodice aside, and for the next step you can use 1/2 inch bias tape, 1/2 inch ribbon, or straps that you've cut from matching fabric. If you're using bias tape, you just open it up and fold the end under, just like you see me doing here. I think this is 1/2 inch bias tape. If I were doing this again, I'd probably use 1/4 inch. I mean, you can get away with 1/2 inch. If you're using matching fabric, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to fold it in on both of the longest sides so that it looks sort of like bias tape. And then you fold the whole thing in half, hot dog style. Okay, to make sure you understand, here I am with my strip of fabric that matches my bodice front. Okay, and I fold that end. You only need to fold one end, and then you're going to fold the sides, but you do need to fold both of the really long sides. Okay, once you've got those folded, then you do the hot dog thing. Stitch the ties shut. You can use a long L shape with your sewing machine. I used a whip stitch when I did the other one. The idea here is to close off one end and then the whole long open side. If using ribbon, use fray check or tie the ends off. Create 2 pieces for tying the garment. Open the bodice front's strap like this and fold under. Lay the tie's raw end over the fold close to the seam. Okay, so here we have the fold. Then you lay your strap in close to the seam. Stitch the ribbon or bias tape inside the strap. Follow these same steps for the second strap as well. Now your bodice looks like this, and just to be clear, we still haven't sealed the straps in place. Open the bodice up like this, laying it out flat. Safety pin the straps to the bodice front. This is the outer front, the one with the pockets, not the lining. Invert the bodice front again, like you see me doing right here. Okay, so I've got my strap safety pinned. I'm going to flip it back around. Remember I told you we were going to invert it back. Okay, and this is so that we can sew the armhole area. Right here, see how I'm pinching that armhole area together? We're going to sew that. Sew the armhole area in a J shape, making sure you don't sew the bias tape straps. So you want to kind of feel as you go. Do this with both sides. Clip your seams. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm using Fisker Stitchers Minis. And if you don't have a pair of these, man, they are great. You should buy some. Invert and remove your safety pins. Be gentle when you pull the straps out. I think I had to redo this purple one because I pulled it too hard when I was pulling the straps out, and it kind of pulled my stitches out. So go gently. You can use your chopstick for this too to try and poke those out gently. And then remove the safety pin. Now your bodice looks kind of like this. Stitch along the open edge where the straps connect to the bodice. It would still be open a little bit. Set this aside for just a moment so we can focus on the back pieces. Lay one of the backs on top of the other, keeping right sides together. Use a fabric pencil to mark a little dot 1 centimeter in from the really irregular corner that you find in that back piece. Stitch the two backs together from that dot to the regular looking corner and then down, creating a sort of a V shape. Follow these steps for both backs. Clip all corners and seams. If you need to purchase some of these little Fisker stitchers, I'm going to leave a link in the description area. When I bought mine, it jumped my game up, my sewing game, so much. Use a chopstick to help you invert your backs. That's what I'm doing here. Again, it helps to use a little twist. You know, that helps make it a little more gentle. Press both back pieces. Lay your backs down beside your front piece. Place the raw edge of the back's fabric against the unsewn edge of the garment's front, keeping your right sides together. Notice how I'm covering up a pocket. Okay, so here I am with my back. I lay it against my front, and I'm covering up the pocket, and that's how I know I'm doing right sides together. Stitch from the underarm area down the side, but stop sewing 2 centimeters before you reach the edge of the garment. That's not quite an inch in imperial measurements. Attach both backs this same way, leaving an unsewn area at the bottom of each back. If your backs stick out at the underarm, clip the excess fabric. And I did have that with the little pink and lime one. I guess it's mint, okay? So you'll see me doing that right here. Fold the hem area inside itself and stitch it shut with a whip stitch. Now I'm doing the back piece. Okay, so I'm going to fold that inside. I've already attached my back, but not fully. There's a little bit not attached, so we're going to do a little hem there. When you're done whip stitching this back, end the whip stitching of the back piece by tying a knot. Tuck the raw edges inside the bodice front piece and start a new whip stitch all along that bottom of the bodice front. Okay, so I have stopped sewing my whip stitch on the back right there, and I'm going to try to line these up so that I tuck my ends in along the bottom of the front so that they kind of line up with the back. That's why I wanted to show you this. You got to make sure you line them up. Okay, now I'm ready to start whip stitching again. I'm going to whip stitch all along the bottom of the front piece, just like I did with my back piece. Straight pins can help you hold your edges in place while you're working, and you can just remove those straight pins as you stitch along. You can stitch with a sewing machine too to finish this. Again, you want to tie a knot when you finish hemming the front this way, and then fold in the raw edges of the other back the same way we did the other one. Whip stitch to close the other back panel piece just like you did the other one. It's looking a lot like a halter top now, but remember that 2 centimeter side area that we left open? Okay, stitch that side seam closed now. Press these seams open. You may wish to stitch over these just so you have a nice finished seam there. Sew some snaps or Velcro to the back closure area, and now you're ready to try it on your doll. The ribbon or bias tape will be tied at the neck. For more free printable PDF sewing patterns, for making doll clothes and accessories like the little gym bag, to fit dolls of many shapes and all different sizes, please remember to visit my website, chellywood.com.
Hey, did you know that you could design your own doll pants patterns from scratch with just a limited amount of sewing knowledge?
Pattern design is made simple by connecting your doll's measurements with a template I give you during my course.
I'm Chelly Wood, the doll clothing designer.
I own Chelly Wood LLC and the website chellywood.com.
In my Creative Spark online learning course on doll pants design, I'll teach you the basic fundamentals of pattern design, like how do seam allowances work, before we move on to work on designing our own leggings, jeans, fly front pants, and even overalls. So please join me. I would love to see you on the Creative Spark online learning platform. Come see what we offer. Again, I'm Chelly Wood, one of the instructors.